Hey, welcome back to the weekly recap at Already Overbooked. I hope you all had a fantastic week. But let's just jump into the book ball books stuff giveaway. So this week I ended up going up against the great ZB Steele. He's the author of Whispers of the Storm and Inkling and Flame. And if he was going to go through and beat me this week, I was going to go through and do a giveaway. And all of you, I'm so sorry. I won this week, so you won't be able to get a free copy of Whispers of the Storm or Inkling of Flame by the fantastic CB Steele. But what I will do is, because I do really love these books, is I will have the link in the description below where you can go through and get yourself a copy of these books. They're both fantastic, I promise. They're really, really good. Getting so much love, so much well-deserved love from people who've gone through and read it. So I cannot recommend these books enough. Go through and check them out. And ZB Steele is the man. So for this week, I am going up against the commissioner himself, Mr. Beard, at Chris from Bearded Book Beast. And this is our second time going up against each other. We went head to head in week 2, I think. And I ended up going through and beating Chris. And I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to do it again. I'm very confident that I'm going to beat Chris again this week. Now, Chris is on a revenge tour. He's told me he's out for blood. He's out to win this week. He wants me to have to give away a book. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm so confident. I don't think it's going to happen as I'm raising the stakes. I am going to give away a signed copy of a book by one of my favorite authors ever. And I'm going to put it on the line. If Chris beats me this week, I'm going to give away a copy, my copy, of The Devils, signed by the great Joe Abercrombie. And to prove that it is signed, we have the signed copy here. And also, this book came with a poster, and that's going to be included as well. So if you want to go through and put your name in the hat for potentially winning this fantastic gem of The Devils, signed by Joe Abercrombie, just put in the comments birds, like go birds, because I'm an Eagles fan, or birds, like Big Bird, as in Chris's favorite Sesame Street character. So just put in birds in the description below if you want yourself a copy, potentially win The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. So wanted to jump in now to what did I go through and read. I ended up going through and reading 2 books, both ebooks, both fantastic fun books, and they were both art copies of books. And I really do appreciate both of these gentlemen for going through. Tim and Darran, thank you so much for sending me these art books. They were so much fun. So I want to tell you a little bit about both of these. First one is the Father of Shadow and Death by the great Tim McKay. This is a dark fantasy horror blend that hits so well. It felt like an avalanche of emotion, faith, and horrific moments. And it follows Braddock, a man caught between his duty, despair, and a god who has a specific agenda. This book it's heavy in atmosphere. Think towering spirals, crumbling faith, and monsters pulled from your nightmare. Tim's writing in this specific story is brutal and poetic at the same time. And it amazes me because this is Tim's first attempt at a horror story, and he wrote this story like he's been doing it for years. It's so well done. It is mythical, it is grim, and it's tragic, and it's definitely worth your time. Go through. I'm telling you, you're going to want to go through and read this one, The Father of Shadow and Death by the great Tim McKay. The other book I went through and read by Darran Handshaw. And again, appreciate you sending me this, Darran. And I know I keep comparing this to the cover of your characters to the Breaking Bad characters, which again cracks me up. But it was a fantastic story. It was so much fun. This is Artifacts and Enigmas. And this book blends fantasy, science fiction, and detective mystery all into one. And Darran does it so well. You can feel the love and inspiration that he has for Sherlock Holmes within this story. So the main two characters, and I keep mixing them up, but it's Acetine and Aethelgard. I know Aethelgard, but I think it's Acetine. I know I'm mispronouncing. I'm so sorry. But they go through and they're solving crimes tied to artifacts, lost technology that were left behind by a civilization that people really just don't understand. What I really love about this story, what really makes it stand out, is each chapter is its own self-contained case. So there is an overarching story with this as well, but it's each one is its own mini story within the overarching story. It felt like a Sherlock Holmes type story mixed with Black Mirror type of thing, where it's very inventive, it's philosophical, there's emotional parts within this that I was not expecting at all until it just came out of nowhere and it hit me like a sledgehammer. There was so much to this and so well done. If you're a fan of technological, like Renaissance, moral codes, Sherlock Holmes, you're going to go through and love this story. I cannot recommend more to go through and check out Artifacts and Enigmas by Darran M. Handshaw. So well done and a lot of fun. The next is what I'm currently reading, and I know I've mentioned this multiple times that I'm reading this book. I've been in a fantasy mood lately, so I haven't really, like, as a mood reader, it kind of puts me out of the mark. But I'm gonna start over because I think I officially only read like 2 chapters of it, and then I keep forgetting what's happening within the book. Again, me with my mood reading. But I'm gonna be starting over Ordinary Grace by William Kent Kruger. This is a buddy read with Josh from the Reformed Reader. We're not doing this, doing our buddy read until December, but I want to go through and read this and get through it. But I don't want to be reading anything else. I want to just focus on this story. So I have nothing else on the docket for the next week. I'm not picking up any other book except Ordinary Grace. So I want to go through and really take my time with this one and really get into the feels and the emotions and the characters. So I'm excited to go through and start Ordinary Grace this week, and I will have an update next week on that. I finished it and my thoughts. Guarantee it will happen. The next one is my book haul. So I ended up going through and getting one ebook from a publisher, and I bought 2 books, and then I got another book from an amazing author. So we'll start with the ebook first. I ended up getting Richard K. Morgan's new book, No Man's Land, which, again, I'm so excited to get this book. It sounds amazing. What I really love about this is it's a standalone story. We don't see a lot of standalone fantasy stories anymore, so I'm super hyped to go through. A little bit about what this book's about. It is a gritty, dark fantasy set in post-World War I Britain, where conflict erupts, ended by an invasion of mysterious fae known as the Holdu, who have overrun the countryside with the encroaching forest. And we have a scarred war veteran named Duncan Silver, who's armed with a knife and a trench gun. He now goes in and he's hunting down these Holdus to rescue stolen children. And his mission becomes personal and unexpectedly complex when he is hired to retrieve a 4-year-old girl, which plunges him into a larger game for dominance and forcing him to confront violent secrets from his past. So again, really excited to go through and check this out. I got a few other Richard K. Morgan's books up there that I think it's part of a series. I just haven't had the time to start a brand new series again. But knowing this is a standalone book, and I keep hearing amazing things about Richard K. Morgan, I'm probably going to read this very, very soon, and kind of get my feet underneath me for his writing style. So I'm super excited. This sounds amazing. So excited to jump into it. The next two are books that I went through and bought. The first one was held for me from the bookstore, the local bookstore owner. She looks out for me. She finds a book that I may like. She kind of puts it behind the counter for me. It's really cool when the local bookstore people know you, and they can kind of hold on to books when they come in. So if you're not doing it, I highly recommend it. So she held for me a book called XOM-B by Jeremy Robinson. I've not heard of this book. I've not heard of this author. So, but the cover looks cool. It's very intriguing. And then let me tell you a little bit what the book is about. And this is kind of what made me go, okay, well, I'm buying this now. It's about Freeman, who is a brilliant man living in a worldwide utopia established after his people overthrew their former slave owners that they called the Masters in a devastating war facing a new global threat. A violent and inducing bite spread virus starts sweeping the population, kind of like a zombie type virus in a utopia. Sounds awesome. Utilizing his skills and his intelligence, Freeman goes through and searches for a cure, but instead uncovers the virus source. It was the defeated masters who are intent on reclaiming the world that they went through and lost. Now, Freeman must fight for survival, his friends, and the deeply complex and dangerous truth behind this new virus threat that is causing people to become zombies. Sounds amazing. I've read a few reviews. I didn't go into spoilers about anything, but I was just like, hey, is this really about zombies and robots kind of thing? So the reviews have compared him to Michael Crichton, which I'm a huge Crichton fan. So as soon as someone said it, I'm like, okay, I'm buying this. But they also said it's very infectious and a lot of fun to go through. So if you've gone through and read or even heard of XOMB, let me know. Again, I've never heard of it, but it sounds awesome. So I'm definitely going to go through and read it when I need my post-apocalyptic feel, when I get into that kind of mood. So XOM-B. The next book is from an author who I'm a huge fan of. I've mentioned it multiple times. I'm looking for his newest book, and as I was going through and looking at it, I found Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Now, I've never heard of this book at all, but based off of my love for Beartown, I just went through and bought it without even reading the back. But what this one's about, it's about an open house in an apartment becomes an accidental hostage situation when a failed bank robber burst in, taking a dysfunctional group of strangers inside. And the captives include multiple different people at multiple different avenues within their life. And as the standoff continues and the pressure outside with the police trying to get the hostages back, people start opening up a little bit. And you start finding out that every single person has secrets. They have their own demons. And there might be more happening than what we're aware of. So if this is anything like Beartown, this is going to be a character-driven story. And Frederick Bachman writes characters fantastic, so I'm super hyped to jump into this one. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. The next one, as I mentioned, is a gift from the author, and I really do appreciate you sending me this, Mike. This is The Scone Conspiracy, and this one is set during the Age of Exploration. This dark fantasy epic follows a disgraced Prince Cassius Roth as he uncovers a shadowy conspiracy utilizing deadly politics and dark magic to abduct children across the continent for unknown, sinister ends. And as the world's great powers vie for control over the new world, the prince, alongside with an unlikely crew of individuals, must determine if they are merely pawns or if they can forge their own path to expose this ambitious and this ambitious conspiracy from defining the course of the nation. So, sounds amazing, sounds epic, and I do appreciate you sending me this, Mike. Thank you so much, my friend. What's going on next week? I have a lot going on. We have today, or actually tonight at 7:30. I'm going to be on Bald & Balding's channel doing a creature creation with a ragtag group of amazing people. So come in, stop by, say hey, and check out Bald & Balding's channel as we do creature creation. I'll have all the information in the description below. On Sunday at 8 p.m., I'll be on J.R. Carroll's channel discussing book 6 of Dungeon Crawler Carl with some amazing people. We've been going through and doing a live for each book. We've been doing a big buddy read, and it's been so much fun. But now we're on book 6 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. So if you're interested to hear our ridiculous thoughts on this ridiculous book, go through and stop by. A little bit of insight. This is my favorite one, so I am super excited and what I've been waiting for to talk about. So book 6, Dungeon Crawler Carl on J.R. Carroll's channel. Then on Monday on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a live interview with the amazing Tim McKay. Yes, the Tim McKay of the father of Shadow and Death. We're going to have an amazing conversation. I am super excited to go through and talk with him about his movement into the horror genre and how he was able to get into that mindset and really think of all the creative chaos that had to come together to build this horrific horror fantasy story together. So super excited to have that conversation with Tim on Monday at 8 p.m. On Tuesday, I'll be doing a review of Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. You are not going to want to miss this one. I've mentioned this book multiple times on the channel. I loved this book, and so I'm excited to go through it and give my perspective and my thoughts on why I enjoyed this book so much, and that'll be coming out on Tuesday. Then on Thursday at 9 a.m., I'm going to the dentist, and then on Friday, I'm going to be doing another weekly recap where I talk about everything that happens from now to then. Now, let's move on to the Indie Author Spotlight. For this week, I wanted to go through and spotlight S.A. Oliver, author of Desert Horizon, a brand new book that just came out on November 7th. This book is about a rookie CIA operative named Ramsey Gray, who was sent to track down the terrorist group after a devastating attack. And as he navigates this treacherous landscape of international espionage, he uncovers a sinister plot involving a billionaire and a massive oil company. But when a mysterious mercenary group claims the CIA is setting him up for failure, Ransom must confront his own demons and the line between loyalty and betrayal. This book sounds amazing, and the cover is a huge standout. I am so happy with this cover. I've noticed a lot, maybe it's just me, but a lot of these thriller book covers have been looking the same or very close to the same. So seeing a cover that is different, that stands out, that has an amazing art to it, I'm super hyped to get myself a copy and read this book. So it's added on to my to buy list, so then I can add it to my to read list. But if you're interested in getting yourself a copy of Desert Horizon, I will go through and have the link to that book in the description below. I'll also have a link to S.A. Oliver's website and all of her social media, so you can go through and follow S.A. Oliver's works, again, in the description below. The BookTuber Spotlight, I wanted to go through and spotlight an amazing person, Adam at Coach Adam Reads. Adam is such a cool dude and is running a channel that is very unique. What he does is he reads middle grade books to go through and give parents a quick review and will let you know if certain books are appropriate for our kids. He's very honest. He gives amazing recommendations for books that I'd never heard of that are perfect for my kids. And I really do appreciate his honesty and his commitment to going through and helping parents find those appropriate stories for their kids. So please go through and check out Coach Adam Reads. I'll have all of his information in the description below. Check out his videos, subscribe to his channels, really just go through and show him some love, because he's doing something different in the community, and I really appreciate him on what he's doing and the value he's adding to this community and to parents who are really looking for new different reads for their kids. So thank you so much, Adam, for what you do. That's it for this week's update. Let me know what you're reading, watching, or grabbing on your hauls this week. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one. Stay overbooked.